Hi, I'm Alan SoCal, and this is going to be an easier review for me than I thought. Just before I did this setup, I did a physical setup with another product I'm reviewing, which is a gimbal. And I really, I was sort of, my brain was sort of fried a little bit. I have never set up a full-size gimbal for a DSLR body, a mirrorless body like I'm using. So it took a little out of me, and I thought, I hope this thing is somewhat intuitive. And it was. It was somewhat intuitive. And this thing is the AODELAN wireless shooting grip tripod with remote control for whatever you want to use it for. And what I zeroed in on, because I just recently got a Sony a610, which I'm using right now, I zoned in on the fact that this remote grip and tripod assembly is compatible with my new camera. So there was this certain amount of excitement that maybe I could do some remote control on my camera, because by myself sitting here, one of the issues I had was doing fine adjustments on my zoom control. So let's get into the product. I take it out of the box, had a little pre-molded, very light plastic cavity thing here to hold the remote and the tripod. You see it folds together like that. So it's a very small device. However, what got me excited, because the utility I was looking for was remote control, the remote comes right out of the little tripod. So let me show you how that's done. It's pretty simple. There's a little doodad here. You pull down on that, and the remote becomes a separate part. And then, of course, obviously it snaps right back in. So after about 15 minutes of going through my A6400, I finally realized that because I hadn't done any connectivity work on it, the Wi-Fi access in the menu was on page 2 of the globe icon, which is for connectivity and such. So I finally got that all figured out. It took me about 15-20 minutes to figure it all out, and here I am. So I have linked the remote to the camera. What was I excited about? Control over the zoom lens. Well, what I'm finding is that you don't, in my case, I've got the I think it's the 18 to 135 millimeter Sony lens, the E-lens series, E series. And I found that I can control the zoom. Right now I've adjusted it to maximum wide for this setup, which is about 35 millimeter on that lens. And if I want to zoom in, I just hit the button like that, or I can zoom out just like that. Now I've got a small 7-inch monitor in front of me, so I can actually figure out where I'm at, which is the big advantage. When I added this, and it's an item through Amazon, when I added this 7-inch monitor, it allowed me to see what I was recording. So I mean, I had all the toy connections I needed. But zoom function is right up on top. There's a focusing function with a slide switch on the side. Oh, let me zoom in, and maybe you'll see it a bit better. And you know what? I'm going to take this out of the tripod. Just pop it out like that. So there you can see the remote control a bit closer. And the zoom out, there's a plus and minus button up on the top here. If I hit the minus, of course, I zoom out. and I'm going to hold it with my thumb so I can control it, and then I'm zooming in. Now what I noticed, that is not the full range of the zoom lens. I haven't yet investigated whether it's capable of running the lens full distance, or if this zoom function is occurring within the camera as a digital function, or if it's literally zooming the lens. I have a funny feeling it might be a digital zoom. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But let me zoom it back out. And of course, you can control your focus function, but I've got it on autofocus right now. My big thing was just fine-tuning the zoom function. You have to put, I guess, the head of the remote here goes in first, then it snaps. So this kit, here's the box. It comes with the traditional silica gel, not to be confused with crypto gel. Here is the lanyard, and I don't use lanyards, but they're nice. And I always save my box and packaging because that's, if I need to store this, that's where it might go. Although I've got a toolkit, a couple of toolkits, and this will probably go into a section, its own section. You get 2 instruction sheets. What's interesting, the large instruction sheet is all about the tripod, not the remote, just the tripod. So if I take the remote out, and then that's leading me up to another thing that you're going to get excited about. I looked at the tripod and I kept thinking, is there something electronic about this? Do you need the tripod to use the remote? Because I'm thinking, I don't need this. I've got plenty of mini tripods. It does make a very nice housing for this unit. I mean, there's no question. Plus, if you are out and about and you've got the camera, you can rotate this. There's a detent, a little detent button on this side, and you can hit all your important angles and such. But what I was really thinking is, I just want to use the remote. I was excited to find out when I set this up, when I took this out and put the tripod aside, this was all I needed. Now let's talk about price point, and I'm going to get you a little excited about something else. Price point on the item as you see it with the tripod and this control, $70. What I found out as I went into Amazon and looked at comparative product, number one, I did find the Sony remote. I looked at it in Amazon, and should you want to buy a Sony accessory remote, you're welcome to it at $138. Does it have something this system doesn't have? Again, tripod, remote, little lanyard, silica gel. No, I don't think it's any different other than it's branded by Sony, and here we're branded by AODELAN, however they pronounce it. But it appeared to be primarily the same product, so if it is, then the differentiation is price, and then for me, which is very important, warranty. I'm only going to presume this has a 1-year warranty, but I will have to check their site and go deep. A lot of times you end up having to contact the manufacturer or the vendor. I'm sure Sony, well, I won't say I'm sure, but I'm thinking Sony would warranty their accessories like the camera, maybe for a year. But here's the nifty thing. I then looked at the AODELAN website, or their store. You can buy just the remote, the very same remote here, compatible with, in my case, the A6400, and well, basically the 6000 series, the A7R3. You can get this by itself for $50. So from $50 by itself to $70, which includes this tripod affair, and again, the tripod that houses a tripod tripod that houses the remote control, you could then spend 70. So is it worth 20 bucks? That's up to you. I think it's nice. I just still haven't discovered. Oh, I found another button here. I have a feeling. Oh, this. There's a button. Let me. Oh, see, I can do that. I can zoom in a little bit. There's a button in between the legs here, and let me get this. I hope you can see it. There's a little detent button. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. And when you push it in, you can then rotate the head of the mini tripod. So not only is it capable of tilting forward and back, but it can also pan. It can rotate clockwise, counterclockwise, however. So that's it. I think it's, it's a 5-star item for me because I was looking. Oh, let me back out a little bit. Cool, huh? Now see, this is going to end up being over here, and I won't even say anything when I'm doing a review. I'll just zoom in. But I think it's a 5-star item. It's got all of the features that I need. In fact, the main feature being remote focus, but I can also shut off the record, start the record if we're doing stills. You have another button for doing shutter, affecting a shutter to take pictures. So I think it's a nifty little item. It's certainly less costly than Sony's. And remember, if you get on Amazon and look, you'll see that you can buy the remote by itself for $20 less than the kit. Of course, I'm doing this as a review, and I'm tickled pink to get both tripod and the remote control. $20, maybe it is worth it, because if you're going to use this as a selfie stick and you bring the legs in, then of course you're holding it and touching all the buttons and taking pictures of yourself and others. Anyway, well, actually, you could do a much better job, I think, if you put the mini tripod on a vehicle hood, as long as you don't drive off, or on the top of the car. You can certainly take pictures if you're in a group. Just grab the remote and walk over to the group and take the picture, shoot the video, whatever. 5 stars. I'm happy with it, and I'm going to enjoy it. And it's a worthwhile tool for my A6400.